By virtue of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, the tenure of the President, the Vice President, the governors, and deputy governors of states of the Federation, except Anambra State, Bayelsa State, Edo State, Ekiti State, Imo State, Kogi, Ondo, and Osun States, will expire on the 28th day of May 2027, while membership of the National and State Assemblies will stand dissolved on the 8th day of June 2027. Pursuant to Section 76, subsection 2, 116, subsection 2, 132, subsection 2, and 178, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, elections to the said offices shall hold not earlier than 150 days and not later than 30 days before the expiration of the term of office of the holders. This action we're taking today is pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution of Nigeria, and in particular, Section 28, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, which mandates the Commission to publish the notice of election not later than 360 days before the date appointed for the election. Let me reiterate that the authority and power to publish the date of election is that of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The 2027 general election will hold nationwide for the following offices. Number 1, President and Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, governors and deputy governors of the states of the Federation, except those states I've earlier mentioned, members of Senate, members of House of Representatives, and members of the Houses of Assembly of States. Therefore, in exercise of the powers conferred on the Commission by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, and the Electoral Act of 2022, and all other powers enabling it in that behalf, the Commission hereby sets in motion the electoral process for the 2027 general election and fixes the date of the 2027 general election as follows. 1. Presidential and National Assembly election will come on the 20th February 2027. 2. Governorship and State Houses of Assembly will be 6 March 2027. The detailed timetable and schedule of activities have been uploaded to the Commission's website this morning and circulated, or is being circulated to register political parties and relevant stakeholders. All the 36 resident electoral commissioners and that of the FCT are hereby directed to publish the notices in each constituency in respect of which an election is to be held. These dates reflect our commitment to ensuring that our electoral processes are transparent, credible, and adhere to the provisions of our laws. In accordance with the approved timetable and schedule of activities, primaries will be conducted within the statutory period stipulated by law. Submission of nomination forms by political parties will commence and close within the designated windows as provided in the schedule, which I have just released. Campaigns by political parties shall commence on the date specified by law and end 24 hours before the election. I must also take a moment to address the current electoral amendment bill that is pending in the National Assembly. This bill has sparked important discussions and concern among the various stakeholders in our democracy. We recognize the necessity of enhancing our electoral framework to ensure that it meets the ever-evolving needs of our society and reflects our aspiration for free, fair, and credible election. It is imperative to note that while we are eager to adopt any amendments that may strengthen our electoral processes, we must also act in accordance with the existing provisions of the Electoral Act. As an independent electoral body, we are committed to upholding the rule of law and ensuring that our actions are guided by established legal framework. The timely announcement of the election date is a critical step in this process, allowing our stakeholders, political parties, civil societies, organizations, the electorate to prepare adequately for the election. As we move forward, INEC remains dedicated to engaging with all the stakeholders to foster a transparent dialogue regarding the proposed amendments. We believe that the collaboration and open communications are essential in the electoral system that serves the interests of all Nigerians. Political parties are strongly advised to strictly adhere to the timelines. The Commission will not hesitate to enforce compliance with the law. The Commission remains committed to deepening the deployment of technology to enhance transparency in the electoral process, ensuring the continuous cleaning and updating of the National Register of Voters, strengthening engagement with security agencies to guarantee peaceful elections, expanding voters' education and stakeholder collaboration to promote informed participation. Let me reiterate that INEC is guided solely by the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and our regulations and guidelines. We shall continue to act impartially, transparently, and professionally in the discharge of our duties. I call on all political parties to conduct peaceful and credible primaries, to shun violence and inflammatory rhetorics, and to uphold internal democracy. I equally appeal to candidates, supporters, and electorates to conduct themselves peacefully throughout the electoral cycle. The success of the 2027 general election is a collective responsibility. Government institutions, security agencies, the media, the civil society, organizations, and indeed all Nigerians must play their respective roles. As we commence this important national exercise, I assure Nigerians that the Commission is fully prepared and determined to deliver an election that reflects the sovereign will of the people. In conclusion, I urge all political parties, candidates, and citizens to begin preparing for this pivotal moment in our democracy. Let us work together to ensure that the electoral process is peaceful, inclusive, and reflects the will of our people. On behalf of the Commission, I hereby formally release the notice of election and the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was the Honorable Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor George Amogiton, delivering his address on the formal publication of the notice of election for the 2027 general election. His address has actually come to rest the several unauthorized publications you'll be getting on other social media networks. Today, members of the media, you are here to hear right from the source. Once again, we thank the Honorable Chairman. All right, gentlemen of the press, we'll be taking questions, but very, very few. And please let your questions not be so pregnant so that I can give room to others, about 3 or 4. So if you have a question, you just indicate, you will identify, and you ask the question. Question? Okay. The lady, please. The lady.
Chairman, sir,
I can't hear you.
To ensure all this
Can you speak louder? Yeah, I'm barely hearing you, but go ahead. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Many thanks for inviting us to this party. I'm Jamaica Girls. I report for National Bank. And my question is very simple and short. Can you kindly tell us what we intend to do differently to ensure all these aforementioned states, the ones you mentioned are going to be conducting the polls alongside others? What do we do to ensure we start working together with other states or let's hold this election together rather than having different times for them? At least that's what it costs involved.
Guys, having one election in one day. Is that what it is?
Off-cycle elections, why can't we bring them together?
With the general election?
No, yes. The off-cycle, the constitutional matters.
Off-cycle.
Those ones are for with the off-cycle. Those ones you mentioned will not participate.
Okay.
Next question, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is I'm Friday. Welcome to the Arise News.
Okay.
So, you were in the National Assembly yesterday, and you defended the budget for the elections. There were controversies. I started some are saying the amount is too much, some are saying it's small. The 1 trillion naira that's invested by INEC, we need, based on the fact that there may be some unforeseen contingencies, especially the selection, many should have gone. Is that amount will it be commensurate with what is expected? Or is this small compared to what the demands of the office really entails? That is question one. After that question, so the other question is it has to do with the fact that before you came to office, some issues were raised by the Sharia Council, some calling for your resignation based on what it did. We want to know if your position about the killings in the country, for instance, if you have changed. Thank you very much.
It's the media, please. Wait. I you're listening, the chairman just gave an address on the release of the timetable. So I believe our questions should be around the release of the timetable. Thank you. Next question. Correct.
Chairman, my name is David Lonoja. Last week, this week I'm interested. The Senate tried to pass the electoral bill of 2025. There's doubt that INEC may not be able to conduct election based on e-transmission due to network issue. So in the public arena, some people were still about to speak for INEC itself. And today is another important avenue for INEC to speak to Nigerians. What's your stand on this? Is it possible that INEC can do this, or what's your stand? And finally, sir, we read yesterday that about 400 billion naira was earmarked for technology and 2027 election. 5 and spending budget was massive. And recently, in the stakeholders meeting, he said they're not going to use any technology for the 2027 election. So I don't know what you have to say of that, sir. Thank you.
I hope you are not misquoting me.
And that's okay. What is I thought I was to try that one.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I should answer from the last person so that it's still very fresh. This ongoing debate about transmission of results. INEC has been transmitting results since 2022. So the whole idea about transmission, the provisions of the Act, even the 2022 Electoral Act, if it is read properly, especially section 62, subparagraph 4 to 9, it is very clear that transmission is mentioned in those provisions. So nobody is going to take the nation backwards because INEC has been doing it, and we have built an IREF. We have improved on the IREF. We're improving on our BVAS to ensure that this is done. At the last Anambra election, we did not transmit results. And even the FCT that is coming up, definitely the result will be transmitted through the IREF. So that is what we have been doing. So some of the arguments about transmission and no transmission over the years, since 2011, when the card reader was introduced, it has improved the credibility of Nigerian elections. So INEC is committed to ensuring that we improve. I think the fear of everybody was what happened during the 2023 election, where there were some glitches, and it completely eroded the confidence of Nigerians. So on our part, in fact, I'm committed to even having a mock presidential election, so that whatever technology, you see, the delicate thing about technology is that if a technology is designed without being properly tested. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there were issues with transmission to IRF in respect of the State Assembly, in respect of the National Assembly, and in respect of governorship. But I think where the problem came from was when it became interstates. So we are doing everything possible to ensure that we test whatever we have to ensure. So, and I did not say that technology will not be used. I don't know. People have been quoting, please, when you, the joy is, like yesterday I was misquoted by what I said at the National Assembly, that I said I was going to build a hospital. It was not in my budget. What we said, there was a question that why are we buying drugs? Do we have hospitals? And I said we have 2 existing clinics. and that those drugs were meant for the existing clinic. Then a distinguished senator said, why do you need to build a hospital? Nobody talk of hospital. We have clinics that have been existing for years for the purpose of our staff welfare. So, and here you are saying that I said technology will not be used. I don't know at what forum. This commission has come of age. We are going to use technology. We have BVAS that we have been using, and BVAS is being improved upon, and BVAS is being tested. Even last week, I went around FCT to ensure that we tested, the BVAS have been configured for FCT election, that we tested everything to be sure that they are in order. So the debate is going on. No matter how it ends, we already have our own system and internal machinery to ensure that the results are transmitted. So that is that on technology. The second question has to do with the amount that a lot of people felt what we are about. Our election budget is not 1 trillion. Our election budget is about 850 and 73 billion. Compared to what we had during the 2023 election. Now, while we were at the National Assembly yesterday, my attention was drawn to a resolution of the House of Representatives that we should increase the amount that we pay to ad hoc staff, NY corpers. And by the time they work it out, it came to about 32 billion because we'll be using about 450,000 corpers. And I said to them, unlike what happened in 2023, we have doubled the amount that we are supposed to be paying corpers and other ad hoc staff. And that the bill they were bringing yesterday of 32 billion naira, just for corpers. I said corpers, in every polling unit, you have 4 pool officials. You have the presiding officers, you have APO1, APO2, APO, and APO3. So there are 4 of them. So by implication, by the time you are increasing to the amount that you are doing for NYC corps members, you're also going to have to implement the same for APO1, APO2, APO3. Now multiply 32 billion times 4. Just for ad hoc staff, the cost of training. So in fact, substantial part of the money goes for training. It's how you train ad hoc staff, rack tech, and all those. Then you are now talking also of inflation and forex. When you compare it to the 2023 election, we have even been modest in ensuring that the cost of the election is kept within bounds. Because everything has a cost. If you are really going to give the cost of an election in Nigeria, for instance, I can tell Nigerians, I need a law enforcement agent of my own. An agency that I know is 100% controlled by INEC. Are we prepared for that? I can also say that I need to build my own network so that I am very sure. But despite these deficiencies, we are going to put everything possible not to disappoint Nigerians. We are going to be working with relevant agencies, the law enforcement agencies. We are going to be working with other professional bodies, IT bodies, to ensure that the problems we had in the past, we do not encounter them. So that is our mission, and so why not? We'll do our best to ensure that within the budget limits that we have, we give Nigeria what they desire. The other question you asked, this is a purely constitutional and statutory responsibility that I have here. So thank you for that. The one on election, you are talking of an election in one day, isn't it? Is it? Off-cycle election is a constitutional matter. For instance, we cannot delay Anambra election which held in November till next year because of the provision of Section 76. Section 11, I have already referred to those constitutions, that election must take place at least not later than 150 days to the expiration of their tenure are not ending the same time. So that is why the election have to come as off-cycle election. You know, there were a lot of judicial processes involved, election petition tribunals, some governors were removed, and then those that eventually got on the ballot, they now had to start their tenure afresh. So it's for that reason that we cannot have the same time, election the same time with those states that are involved. Thank you very much.
Now, as Nigerians debate whether electronic transmission of results will truly happen in real time, the controversy is no longer just political, it is now technical. On one side, Andrew Mamedu of ActionAid Nigeria argues that much of the anxiety around IREV is misplaced. He insists the platform has offline capabilities that are poorly understood and under-communicated, and that network challenges should not become an excuse for weakening transparency. On the other hand, former INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu has been clear. While voter accreditation machines operate offline, internet connectivity is required at the point of uploading results to the IREV portal. So which is it? Can the system function meaningfully without real-time connectivity, or does the absence of guaranteed internet access create exactly the kind of vulnerability Nigerians fear? Well, to explain his position and to address the growing questions about what electronic transmission really means in practice and whether Nigeria's electoral system is being misunderstood, mismanaged, or deliberately blurred, I'm joined now in the studio by the country director of ActionAid Nigeria, Andrew Mamedu. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Charles.
Now, you said IREV has offline capabilities that are under-communicated. Can you explain precisely what functions operate offline and what absolutely requires internet connectivity?
Yes, thank you very much. So let's go back.